That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
Hi Final Gamer, I've been catching up on the content and was wondering if you could tell the origins to Joho. Love the content, by the way.
The origins to Joho. I mean, I feel like I've told this story a couple of times on stream, but if people want, I can tell it again. Tell it again. Okay, so about... Oh, he looks nasty. Oh, there's a safe over there, though. So about 15 years ago, I went to Japan. You know, it had been a long time dream of mine to go to Japan. Obviously, it is a place that I, you know, has been a big influence on me. It's like kind of anime, video games, everything. And I went with Michelle, who was my girlfriend at the time and is now my wife. So I'm over there for a couple of days, and I am just having a mind-blowing time. Like, I love it so much. I am so excited to be there. And the only problem is that, like, my face starts to hurt. Like, my jaw specifically is, like, getting sore, and I don't know why. And, like, my jaw is hurting. And, like, it's not too bad, but it's getting to the point where, like, I'm biting down on food, and I'm kind of like, ugh, like, that's not pleasant. And after a couple of days, I kind of start to worry, like, shit, what is this, you know? So then one morning, I wake up, and I wake up next to Michelle, and I watch her little eyes open, and she just goes, oh, when she looks at me, and I go, oh no, really? And she goes, yeah. I go over to this mirror, and my jaw is, like, out to here. Like, this is an exaggeration. I look like quasi-fucking-moto. Like, I am weird looking. And it sucks because, like, you know, if you've ever been to Japan, first of all, those are very petite people. I already feel like kind of a monster over there in a way that I'm sort of into. I was like, wow, I am tall, and I am strong in this land. And that was really fun. But now, my face has taken on rather freakish proportions, and I'm like, this is no good. This is bad. And so after thinking about what to do, and like I am kind of freaking out because there's a part of me that's like, I really don't want to get dental surgery in Japan. Like I don't want to get dental surgery in a place where I don't speak the language, because that just sounds like a goddamn nightmare. So like I am shitting it. I am like, this is really bad, and I don't know what I'm going to do. So I go down, and there's this really lovely man called Kira sitting at the front desk, and I try and explain to him, hey, my jaw is sore, and I can't really like eat, and I think I might need to go to a dentist. And oh shit, it sucks because like I am genuinely like kind of afraid of like what's gonna happen, and like, is this gonna be okay? And Kira, God bless him, I take my hand off my face, and he just goes, and he walks me to a dental surgery near the hotel, and he stays in the waiting room with me until I am seen by a dentist. And then, like, he kind of communicates to me that when a dentist comes to take me, he's like, I must go back to the hotel now. And I'm like, cool, thank you so much, Kira. Thank you so much, Kira-san. And they walk me in, and I have never seen anything like it in my entire life. The way I always describe this is, imagine a tic-tac-toe board, and imagine every square is filled with a dentist chair. That is the room I am looking at. There are like 8 dentists in 8 different stations, all working on their patients. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, what is this, you know? I'm kind of shitting it, but I'm like, that's scary. Eventually, this Japanese dentist comes over to me, and this dude is like super handsome. I don't know if I've mentioned that in previous like versions of the story. He's really, really handsome, and I'm like, oh my god, please speak English, please speak English, please speak English. And he comes up to me and he goes, Mr. Walsh, it's a pleasure to see you today. I will be your dental surgeon. And I was like, oh, thank God. Thank fucking God. Then I go, oh, hey, thank you so much for seeing me. The problem is that my jaw is after kind of swollen up. And it's hurting a lot, especially when I like bite down on it. And next thing, I watch his eyes just glaze over. And I'm like, oh my God. That one sentence he just said, that is every piece of English this dude has. And so from here, the way we communicate is he takes out this little book and he points to like the hiragana in the book and I read the corresponding like English below it. And that's how he keeps telling me. He's like, we're going to x-ray your teeth, we're going to tap on your teeth, and we're going to and so we go through this a little bit, and then eventually he points to this one piece of hiragana, and he points to it like a little slower. There's like a reluctance in him pointing to this sentence, and I will never forget it as long as I live. Okay, it says, your jaw has become infected with pus. I will cut it open with an electrical scalpel and drain the fluid. And my vision just fucking swims. Like, I am just like, oh good Christ, I am dying. I am afraid. I do not want to do this. But I mean, what choice? Like, there's no way for me to communicate that I'm nervous or that I don't want this to happen. You know? I'm just in it. This is just what it is. I just have to do it. Air to Twitch, how does this happen to you? We will get that. We'll get to that. And so I sit in the dentist chair and I'm like, fuck it. This is my life. This is what's happening. And in fairness to Kira, or not Kira, sorry, that was the hotel guy. In fairness to the dentist, he injects my jaw and my jaw goes completely numb. I don't feel the incision, but he puts like the suction cup into my thing, and I just see a load of yellow liquid just go out of it, which, jeez, the idea that, ugh. Anyway, so I'm on my way out, and I'm like disorientated, and I don't really know what's happening, and I like take out my little travel insurance form, and I like just hand it. This bit was so weird. I hand it to the woman behind the table, the receptionist, and she goes into a back. She kind of looks a bit puzzled, and she goes into a back room with it. She like punches some numbers into a computer, and then she looks at the computer like kind of confused. And then she calls over another woman. I'm watching this through a crack in the door. They don't know I can see them. She calls over another woman. They both look at the computer screen, and the other woman like punches in some numbers. And then they both start laughing at the screen, and I can't hear them. I don't know what like they're laughing at. And then they call over a man, and they point at the screen and they look at the man, and then the three of them all start laughing. And I don't know what are they laughing? I just gave them my form. Then she comes back out completely straight-faced and just goes, we'll need cash. And so I have to like go outside to an ATM and get cash and come back, and I give them the cash. And on the way out, they give me some painkillers, and they give it to me, and I still have it somewhere in this house. It's like a little packet and it's an elephant. It's a little purple elephant, and the elephant is shooting rainbows out of his the elephant's shooting rainbows out of his trunk. Oh, I left out like my favorite part. When he pointed to the sentence that said I'm gonna cut open your jaw and drain the pus out. Next to that was a picture of a little cartoon tooth, and the tooth was going. And it was such a fucking fever dream. It was such a nightmare. But anyway, she gives me this, and they give me the subscription, and the subscription is addressed to Joho Walsh. Joho. Joho. And for years after that, I took on Joho as like my online alias, because I feel like John is the name I was given. Joho is the name that was earned. That is what I did. You know what? Fuck, I've never actually told the full version of this story, but all at the same time. I'm gonna do that now. Anyway, to conclude the Japan version of this trip, I got back to my hotel, and I'm disorientated, and I'm tired, and the pain meds are wearing off. And all I'm thinking is, I want some soft food I can just, like, inhale. So, because my mouth is too sore to eat anything actually hard. And next thing, Michelle walks into the room like a little fucking angel. And she is carrying a big bag of Japanese McDonald's. And I look at her, right? And at this point, me and Michelle have been together maybe 6 years. And I look at her, in her cute little outfit, carrying the big bag of McDonald's. And I think, I am absolutely going to marry this woman. And then 14 years later, we got married. And yeah, it's like a really sweet memory now, and it's a funny story, but yeah. But it has a part 2. And the part 2 to this story is that years later, I would travel to Washington by myself to do my first ever MagFest, where I would do Artist Alley at MagFest. I had put Joho as all my social media because I thought it was funny. You know, it was just a funny part of that story. And I'm staying at this Airbnb. And I get a taxi. And, like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I've never traveled by myself before. I'd never traveled to America by myself before. I don't know how to get to the airport to my Airbnb. And I literally I jump in a taxi. And I'm like, can you take me to this address? And he's like, okay. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And we're on the way there. And he was I think he was like a Hindi taxi driver and lovely guy. But he's just telling me like horror stories about all the fucked up things he's seen as a taxi driver. And all the like he's like, are you confident you know who these people are? And I'm like, no. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to go in there with you because these people could be trying to rob you. This address might not exist. You might be being scammed. It could be anything. We're cycling through. We're driving through some like really, really bad parts of Washington. I am like, oh god, this is so bad. This is so bad. But eventually we keep driving and we actually get to like quite a nice neighborhood, and it's like got full of like these big villas and stuff. And I'm like, what? This might be all right. And then we pull up to the Airbnb I'm staying at, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like this huge villa that's like borderline a mansion. Like, it's gigantic. And then I start thinking, oh, what if this is like a most dangerous game scenario? What if there's something really fucked up happening here? The taxi driver, he kind of goes in and he like knocks on their door, and I can't see what's happening. And then he comes back around and he goes, you're fine, go on, head in. And so I take my bag out of the trunk and I head in, and I am greeted by this giant Jamaican woman. I say giant in like the most loving term. She was a very beautiful lady. She was just extremely like massive frame. And she throws her arms around me, and obviously I'm not going to do a Jamaican accent, but she goes, Joho, it's so wonderful to have you here. And I'm like, Joho? And then I realized I booked the Airbnb through my Facebook. And so to these people, I'm Joho. And I'm like, oh my god, fucking, I need to correct this immediately. I need to correct. I'm like, John, correct them right now, or you're gonna be fucking Joho all week. And I go into the fucking sitting room, and I swear to God, chat, there is a sign. They have printed out this little kind of sign, this banner, and it says, Joho, welcome to MagFest. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. And I'm like, and then she just goes, and this is my husband Keith. And Keith comes strolling out of the sitting room, big guy, big friendly face on him, and he puts his hand out and he goes, Joho, pleasure to meet you. And I take this man's fucking bear paw, and I shake it, and I go, pleasure to meet you, Keith. And from that point on, I was Joho. There was no helping it. So I'm going to Magfest, and I'm doing my artist alley, and I'm coming back to this place every night. And Pamela and Keith are like fucking awesome. They're so cool. The first night I'm there, they order me this massive big Chinese meal. They order me this delicious meal, and like I had to get a connecting flight to Magfest because I was poor as shit back then, and I had been traveling for like 20 hours, and to be treated to a meal at that point, like it meant so much, and they were so generous. They also tell me I can take whatever I want from the fish, from a succulent Chinese meal. Yes, meat hands. Yes. They tell me I can take whatever I want from the fridge. And they have all this like fucking like gourmet bacon. They have all this delicious fucking food, and like in the morning I'm making myself just the most delicious eggs and bacon I've ever had, and oh my god, it's so good. And they're sound as fuck as well. Like they asked me about my job in animation, and I just get on with them. Like I really, really like them, you know. But something ain't right. Something is just a little off. And it starts the first night I'm there. I go downstairs, right? And this is the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. I'm jet lagged. And I notice there's someone standing in the kitchen. And it's Pamela. And she has her back to me. And she's staring straight into the fridge, not moving. Completely still. And I watch her for like 20 seconds. And I don't want to spook her because I don't know that she knows that I'm standing there. And I'm like, I'm kind of waiting for, like, do I wait for her to turn around, or like, what do I do? And nothing happens. And so after a while, I just go, I just go, hey, Pamela. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Not a movement from her. Nothing. And I go, this is a bit weird. And I just go back up to my room and, fall asleep. And so, I'm, going to Magfest every day. I'm selling art prints. I'm coming home. But every day, it's like there's something not right with this house. For starters, I paid fucking nothing for it. I paid absolutely nothing. And to get all this free food and everything. But there's weirder shit, right? One of the mornings, Keith offers to take me to Taco Bell. So he asked me what I want to do that day. And I was like, I was actually thinking of going to Taco Bell. And he just kind of goes, I'll take you to Taco Bell. And I'm like, okay. Pamela asked me what I'm doing that day, and I'm like, I'm going to Taco Bell with Keith. And she goes, who's Keith? And I go, Keith. And she goes, oh, Keith. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. And I'm like, what the fucking, what? And, like what is going on, So anyway, I go to Taco Bell with Keith, and we walk into the Taco Bell, and I immediately see why he didn't want me to go there by myself. And that is because this Taco Bell, I would say, is as you guys may have noticed, I'm very white, and this Taco Bell is not. And while I most certainly got no issue with that, I don't really fit in as a little white person in an anime t-shirt. And there's a lot of pretty tough looking dudes sitting at tables with no food in front of them. And I'm like, this is why Keith is also black, just to mention, and this is why he didn't want me to go by myself. That makes sense. And I think I was definitely getting the side eye a little bit, but anyway, I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I'm like trying to figure out the menu, and I don't know what I want to order because I've never been to a Taco Bell before. And I go over to the Coke machine, and I press the button, and it goes, and what I can only describe as like Coke sludge slops into the bottom of my cup, and it's like really and that's it, and then the machine stops working, and so I just take it back, and I'm there eating my fucking nonsensical Taco Bell order because I don't know what I'm doing. And Keith's talking to me, and he's like, so John, how long you and Michelle been together? And I was like, about I think about 8 years. It's like about, and he was like, 8 years? And he asked me, he just goes, when are you gonna put a ring on that? And I was like, whoa, what? And he was like, yeah, when are you gonna get married? And I was like, I mean, honestly, like, we've just been together so long now that, like, I don't I guess we just haven't talked about it. You know, both our careers are just starting out, and we don't have, like, a super stable income or, like, a home or anything. And he's like, okay, Joho, let me tell you, God only ordains that has been vilified in his light. And then it all fucking clicks into place. I am staying at a born-again Christian recruitment center. That was Keith and Pamela's whole fucking shtick. They are militants in recruiting people for born-again Christianity. And from this point, I swear to God, chat, especially Keith is on a crusade to save my soul. Every conversation flows back to Jesus. Every conversation goes back to the Lord. And it just gets weirder and weirder, chat, right? There's a point where we're driving back from Taco Bell, and Keith gets a phone call, and I see on his caller ID that it's someone called Priscilla or something like that, some name like that. And he answers it, and he's talking to her. And, like, I'm not taking any notice or whatever. And he kind of looks back at me, and he just goes, oh, that was Pamela. And then I'm like, okay. And then I realize, not only have I given these people my incorrect name, they have also given me incorrect names. No one is using their actual name in this fucking clown scenario. And so anyway, things continue. Things get weirder. So eventually, I decide it's my last day in Washington, and I am heartbroken to be leaving because I've had a fucking incredible time. I went to this con by myself. I made friends with strangers. I partied in hotel rooms of people I had never met before. I met so many fucking cool people. It was such an incredible, like, out of my shell kind of experience. Like, I was tossed into so many scenarios where I had to sink or swim, and I value it so much. You know, like, it was awesome. It was absolutely fucking awesome. The last day I'm there, I'm, like, kind of heartbroken to be leaving. And all I want to do is take a little walk around National Harbor and just, like, process, like, what this trip meant to me. But Keith's like, oh, you can't come to Washington without seeing the White House. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess he's right. But you know what? My flight is at, like, 6 p.m. And it's, like, 10 a.m. right now. I have so much time to get to the airport and to make it on time. Keith, you know what? Or whoever the fuck you are, let's go to the White House. And so he's like, right on. And we get in the car, and we start driving. And I'm like, I'm going to see the White House. It's going to be cool. I'm going to get a bit of culture. And then later I'm going to pick up that sandwich from that place I like in National Harbor. Sounds like I'm in for a pretty chill day. I'm going to listen to my MagFest playlist, which I was listening to the whole time I was there. And then all of a sudden, Keith's car slows down. And I look around, and we're not in the White House. We're in a neighborhood that I would say is perhaps a real up-and-coming neighborhood. Maybe a neighborhood where people weren't doing so great Maybe a neighborhood, where once again, someone like me might stand out a little bit. I kind of look at Keith, and I'm kind of like, I don't know how to say it, but I think the message I am trying to force out of my mouth is, Keith, this doesn't look like the White House. And before I can say anything, he looks at me and he goes, "No, we're just gonna sit here for a minute." And I'm like, "What the what are we doing? Like, what is happening?" And I'm trying to talk to him, and I'm like, "Keith, what's going on?" And like, I'm seeing people walk by, and they're like looking into the car, and they're looking at me, and I am absolutely bamboozled. I don't know what's happening. And next thing, a woman comes out of one of the houses, and Keith goes, "Oh, no way, that's my friend." And he points at her, and I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Would you mind if I went inside and talked to her?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just wanna go in and talk to her for a second." And so before I can say anything, he gets out of the car, he runs over to her, and he hands her a card. As she takes the card, looks at it, looks at him, they talk to each other, and then they both go inside the house. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. And I'm looking at this neighborhood. I have no idea where I am. I have no idea how to leave this place. And there's crowds of dudes walking by the car, and like they're leaning over and they're like side-eyeing me. They're looking in at me. They're like, what is this fucking person doing in our neighborhood? And I'm in that car for what feels like forever. I bet it was only a couple of minutes, but I think it actually was like 20 minutes or something. And so eventually Keith comes back out, and he's like, "Thank you for that, Joho." And he's like, "Okay, Joho, do you know, I want to thank you for your patience. And to thank you, I want to take you to the best fish taco place in all of Washington." And I'm kind of intrigued. John, you're a 6 foot tall white guy, 6 foot plus white guy. They probably think you're a Fed. My friends, I am a noble 5'7.5" They look at me and they see a fucking anime twink in a car, okay? So Keith brings up these fish tacos, and like he's like excited about them. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure thing, Keith. I just want to make sure that we're gonna have enough time. We're gonna have enough time to make it back to, because I really would like to I really would like to spend a little bit of time in National Harbor before I go. That's kind of important to me. Like, I want to do that. And he goes, "Joho, I completely understand. Let's get you to the White House." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so we go to the White House, and I appreciate that Keith is now driving the car very fast, because we're kind of coming up against it a little bit. Like, it seems like I might not have 3 hours at National Harbor. I might only have like 2 hours, or maybe an hour and a half. He stops, and I see the White House from like, I don't know, 500 meters away. I'm surprised by how small it is. I'm surprised by how kind of grubby Washington feels. But I'm like, okay, cool. I've seen the White House. That's interesting. And so we're driving home, and I'm like, okay, look, I got 2 hours till I gotta get it's like 3 hours to my flight. We'll be home in like half an hour. I can take a little stroll in Washington Harbor, jump in a taxi, get to the airport. And so we're driving home, and Keith's not saying anything, which has me a little worried, because there's something about this dude that is just spooking me a little, chat. And next thing, we pull off the main road, and we pull into the car park of a large building. And I look around, and I'm like, Keith? And I swear to fucking God, he goes, "Joho, I just gotta go into this place, and I just gotta see a friend of mine." And I'm like, "Keith, I I have to get to the airport. And he just goes, Joho, I promise you everything's gonna be fine. Out the fucking door, disappears up an elevator. I am in a strange car park somewhere in Washington. No idea where I am. No idea what to do. I have no signal on my phone. I like, my phone isn't working in Washington. I don't have like this was back before like you could get like, you know, Sims and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Keith is in there for, I shit you not, chat, I shit you fucking not, an entire hour. He is in there for an hour. And I just don't know. I am just fucking melting down. And he comes back down and he's apologetic and he's like, Joho, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that took so long. And I'm like, okay, Keith, I really, really need to get to the airport. I really, really need to get to the airport. He's like, okay, and he starts driving, and then he starts explaining. He goes, okay, Joho, I just want to explain to you, okay? Earlier on, that woman wasn't my friend. What I do is I approach people of low income, and I buy their property for a reasonable price. I then flip that property for profit. I think it's a noble pursuit, because, you know, I get people out of low income housing, and I, you know, get to make a little money for myself. And, you know, the fact that it's been working and the fact that I have made such a fortune, to me is proof that God believes in what I am doing. And I just don't even know anymore. And then he goes, and that's also why I just got the nose surgery. And I look at him and I'm like, what? What did you just say? And he go, we were in the car, and there's a nasal surgery I've needed, Joho. My passages are blocked, and there's a nasal surgery I've needed for weeks now. And I had a glance at the schedule, and it turns out there was an opening today, and I couldn't miss it. And so I felt the Lord's hand on my shoulder, and I felt that I was going to get my surgery, and you were going to make your flight. And I'm just like, okay, Keith, I really need to get to the airport because, okay, now it's at the point, fuck my stroll through National Harbour. That's done. I need to get back to National Harbour and fuck a bus. I need to get in a taxi. I need to spend $150 on a taxi to get a taxi from National Harbour to the airport, or I'm going to miss my flight. And so I'm like, okay, Keith, like, it's fine. It's all fine. I don't care. It's cool. It's fine. Just can we please get back to National Harbour? And then he goes, looks at me and he goes, Joho, I don't want you to worry about anything. And he looks at me and he kind of smiles. And I go, oh my God, thank Jesus, thank fucking God. Keith is going to give me a lift to the airport. Keith is going to give me a lift to the airport. This is going to be fine. And then he looks me dead in the eye. And he says, don't worry, Joho. We're going to get you them fish tacos. And I'm like, Keith, oh my fucking God, no, Keith, no, I don't have time. I genuinely don't have time. And he's driving the car and he's like, Joho, I couldn't live with myself if I let you out of Washington without trying these fish tacos. And I'm losing my mind. I'm begging. I'm like, Keith, please. And I'm also conscious that this man is the only way I'm going to get back to National Harbour, so I don't want to piss him off either. And so he fucking pulls into the taco place and he just goes in, and this motherfucker just wanted some fish tacos. And so he comes back in, and he comes back in with this massive bag of like 20 fucking tacos. You know, and he puts them in my lap and he puts his bag over to the side. And I'm just delirious. And so he's like, you're not eating your tacos. And I'm like, I'll eat them later, Keith. I'll eat them later. Please just take me home. Please just take me back to National Harbour. And so I go in, I scrape all my shit together, and it's like an hour and a half till my flight takes off, and I'm not even at the fucking airport, right? And I'm dragging all my shit behind me. I jump in a taxi. Like 40 minutes later, I'm at the airport with 50 minutes to spare. 50 minutes to spare. And I'm dragging all my shit through security. And a security agent stops me. And she's like, "Sir, you can't bring food through security." And I look down, and it's my fucking bag of fish tacos. And I'm not joking here, chat. This is what I did. I kneel down. I kneel down in front of security, and I'm just fucking shoving as much fish tacos into my mouth as I can, because I'm also starving. I run through security. I run to my flight. I catch it with maybe like 10 minutes to spare, and I fly home. That is the saga of Joho. Earlier on, Ertza Twitch asked, "Why does shit like this happen you?" I don't know. Brian has always said John just has a weird energy and just gets into situations like this. But I've told a lot of stories like this on stream, and the most accurate summation of it I have ever seen, and I just saw it go by in chat once, and I don't know who said it, John just be living that clown life that has never stopped being true. Thank you for listening to my story. But how were the tacos? They were fucking great, chat. They were so good. Keith was right. They were really good tacos. Will the adventures of Joho continue? I have no say in that, chat. I cannot get off this ride. All I will say is that I have had so many adventures of Joho since that. You guys know the strip club story. You guys know all the other fucking weird stories I've talked about on these. But for as long as I live, I have gotten into stupid fucking incidents like that, and it never stops.